Kaya here, and today I would like to go a bit more in depth on subjects from the first video. First, I'd like to say that before posting that first video, I thought there are many people who already mostly say what I want to say, so what's the point of me also doing that, and also looking worse, production-wise. But then, I realized that there are actually quite a few reasons why I should do it myself. One is that I am European and I want Europe to be the best it can be. That is where I live, so obviously. And all European influencers I can think of are either the ones who like going to third world countries, saying how awesome they are, the ones going like, yo, the Taliban are actually quite chill, or like Greta, the great Swedish climate and now political expert. All right, but then why talk about American politics and events? Well, I believe because a majority of what everyone around the world consumes is American, at least entertainment wise, movies, series, music, games. It makes American culture reverberate around the world and play a role in shaping the societies, even in countries so far away from them. So, if the US were to be better, then other places, including Europe, to some degree, would also be better. Second one being that I want to try and steer the conversation to solutions a bit more. I think I'll start by saying that at the core of my beliefs is that this whole right-left thing is not working anymore. We need a new structure somewhere where we, I believe, majority can finally have some good decades. Somewhere where people can agree to disagree and not seek to gouge each other's eyes out. Somewhere where advocating for violence is not tolerated and is punished. Somewhere where we lock up actual criminals and not punish the actual victims. Thinking about living in a world like this is making me daydream that I just peeked my head out a big window to a moderately warm weather where an ever so light breeze passes me, preventing the sun from hitting my face too heavily. I take a big breath of fresh air in. Then, sadly, I get reminded that people like Hassan Piker exist. I can feel my ovaries shrivel every time he does that clueless laugh. I don't want to be too mean. He does have one redeeming quality. He is the perfect example of what people should avoid being in this world. Arrogant, narcissistic, hypocrite, and full of hate. Hate for anyone who does not share his exact opinions and ideas. You can show him 1,000 clips of himself counter-arguing his own beliefs or being a hypocrite, and he will not in a million years admit he's wrong or change his stance or apologize. As much as I advocate for hearing people out and not judging them for their distant past, sometimes people can be irredeemable and be shit in the past and the current. And once they cross the threshold of free speech and start using their influence to incite violence, then I think we need to demand the law step in. I'm new here with no influence, so I won't show the Hassan unhinged clips. I've heard of people getting in trouble just for playing his clips, which, yeah, makes a lot of sense that he himself, the actual source of foul ideas, is not banned, right? But yeah, he has in several cases defended Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, called for people to take matters into their own hands and shank this and that and guts and bleh. But don't trust my word. Search yourself for clips of Hassan Piker inciting violence. I'd say ask Grok, but personally, I always manage to break those bots, whether it's Grok or ChatGPT. Example, I was trying to find the last pic she claimed that her and Charlie took, because in the video that she posted about him, all the pics looked old. And I get the overall feeling that she's a fiend capitalizing on his death, which is why I was trying to find that, but I haven't concluded my research, so won't talk about that right now. This is Grok's yappy response, and right here, link to the selfie. You can't make this shit up. So, this whole AI shit is like another shit show on its own. And that is what you get when you just don't care about the truth. Half-baked facts, and you can't go supporting or hating people based on half-baked facts. On top of all the misinformation, Hassan often defends himself by saying that he was joking or something was out of context. Apply that to your real life. How many times a person insulting you and then saying, haha, it was a joke, does it take for you to think, I don't think this person is actually joking. They just never want to face consequences for being vile, so they backtrack and just say they don't mean it, and at times they will even gaslight you by mocking you on how dumb you have to be to not realize they were joking. Regardless of what he and other people like him do, never step off the moral ground. Defend yourself, but not at the expense of someone innocent. That is how you start losing. Hold only bad people accountable. Right now, you can actively see how being blinded can cause you to commit unjustifiable acts, but still think you're in the right. Because I'm assuming the person who shot Charlie Kirk thought that Charlie was a demon, an inciter of violence, someone who hated the LGBT, black people, etc. The people celebrating his death too are more or less convinced that he was the worst. I've watched multiple clips where people just say he had no empathy for anyone, he hated marginalized groups, he was a supremacist, fascist, but there are never really clips to show those claims. Here.
So I do not have hate for a group. I do not have hate for a people. I have hate
just so I can get it on my camera. So Instagram,
don't worry, we got plenty of cameras, but yeah.
But yes, so you do not hate the LGBT community,
No,
and Turning Point is not against LGBT.
No, how could I hate that which I have a heart for?
Thank you.
And I might not agree at that for some of the lifestyle choices that some people make, but of course not. And if someone said, Charlie, what's your view on marriage? I say, I believe marriage is between one man and one woman. But if you ask me, what do I have hate in my heart for somebody that doesn't choose the lifestyle that I believe that God laid out in the scriptures? Of course not.
And no, I'm not.
What does your hat say?
ICE.
What does that stand for?
Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. Hey, don't touch it.
What are you doing?
Gotta let her have her emotions, man. Just listen.
Have a nice day.
Listen, I'm not saying that she was right.
Let's have a conversation.
She was wrong for that. But you gotta show yourself.
Sorry,
that.
Charlie.
If you really love her, you let her go.
No, 100%, guys. I'm not gonna press.
You did good. You did good.
Thank you. See, I'm not gonna.
Because I'd have been pissed if I wanted to help her.
No, that's not.
Get women back.
Hey, put it on mine. We gotta go shortly. 'Cause I
got a question.
Sure. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
I don't think I told you. My name's Mercury.
Nice to meet you. Well, nice to re-meet you, I should say.
What do you hope to get out of this? Why are you here?
Okay, I've been asked that question a lot. First of all, that question should not even have to be asked, but when people stop talking really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When church starts happening, they fall apart. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. Whether it be the great genocide, the horrible genocides of the last 100 years, people stop talking with each other because they lose their humanity. I wish we could be here without having my hat thrown off and stuff, but what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.
Your father peddles lies. I'm not a white supremacist. Honestly, shame on him. For someone that runs an organization called Blexit, do you even know what Blexit is?
I do not.
It's literally, we employ 40 black Americans that work in Atlanta, Chicago, and Philadelphia trying to improve the well-being of inner-city black America. What has your father ever done for inner-city black America other than call me a white supremacist? And by the way, secondly, it's just so ridiculous. It's like, it's somehow...
people for your companies or whatever you do does not make you a white supremacist.
What is a white supremacist?
A white supremacist is somebody who takes advantage and believes that they are higher than everybody else.
Do I believe that?
I have no idea.
Okay, exactly. And so there's no evidence whatsoever, and yet people go around sloppily saying, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist. It is so destructive to our dialogue. It's destructive to us coming together as a country, and there's nothing to support it whatsoever. So thank you for your time.
And I want to say here, if you manage to show me 5 videos that do show he was a bad person, all I can say is, yeah, damn, thanks for showing me. Maybe he's not as nice as I thought. If I wanted to say Charlie Kirk did not have my best interests in mind, this is what I'd show.
How are you? Nice to see you.
So I just have one question. There's, like, in any case, you don't think there's any case where abortion should be legal?
There's a very, very rare couple cases.
Okay, so you do
where,
think that a
one
couple
second.
cases
Hold
it
on.
is legal?
If cesarean section is not going to save the mother's life, and the mother's life is actually at risk, which is debated amongst growing numbers of OBGYNs,
Okay.
that is the only case where abortion should be
Do you
allowed.
think there should-
But people say it is a growing consensus in the pro-life world that abortion is never medically necessary.
Okay. So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped, and she was
Well,
going to give
I-
birth
I
and
do
she
have
would,
a
no, wait,
daughter.
oh, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that and carry her
Well,
rapist baby?
that's awfully graphic. The
It's no, but it's a real life
Okay,
scenario
well,
that happens
calm
to
down.
many
The
people.
answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
But let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. There's 2 ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in one is a baby conceived by a loving couple. Which one is which?
Your daughter was
which
probably
person here was
hopefully
which person
conceived
here
by a
which
somewhat
person here
loving
was conceived by
couple.
Tell me which one was conceived by
You don't know.
Exactly, because it's all human rights and
But
it's all
that
human
doesn't
beings.
matter.
So
It's about your
do-
daughter who has to give
no.
birth to it and is going to be tortured by that
Hold
for
on
the
a second.
rest of her
You-
life.
you are
That's
not-
going to take away every
Hold on a
freedom
second.
she's ever going to have.
Well, hold on.
That's going to
Every
ruin
freedom.
her life. She's going to
You know
grow
what?
up and she's going to be
Abortion is not a
attached to another
victimless crime.
thing.
The point is how you were conceived is irrelevant. What human rights you get.
But-
Hold on one second. If a person conceived in walks down the side of the street, it's not like they don't get First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights.
It's
or
not
Fourth
about
Amendment
that
rights.
person.
The worst thing to do to that the daughter is to then say, "Hey, we're going to go murder the being inside of you."
They wouldn't even know. Like, listen.
They wouldn't know.
Listen.
But wouldn't it be a better story to say something evil happened and we do something good in the face of
No.
evil instead of saying we're going to do evil and then murder the being because we're going to pander to the evil? No. What makes the West great is that we do good after evil, not evil after evil.
It's not about the being in the cells.
No,
it's not about. No. I'm
I know.
speaking.
We're-
I'm speaking.
we're both-
No, I'm
we're both
speaking.
clumps
No,
of cells.
I'm speaking. No,
We're
I'm
both
speaking.
clumps
No,
of
I'm
cells,
speaking. No,
okay?
I'm speaking. No, I'm speaking.
Wanna say it one more time?
No, I'm speaking.
Got it.
Thank you. So it's not. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
No,
about
I
the
know you
person.
don't care about them.
No. I'm talking about the person who is dealing with the pregnancy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't listen to this any longer. Unfortunately, this lady who debated him could not debate a ball into rolling. She started out with a very good, strong point, then went on to decrease the age from 10 to 5. Like, lady, ask him. All right, so the innocence of that child was denied through that heinous action. So now you want to deny her what remains of her childhood? Also, that is a child, and you want her to raise a child? of her own while still being a child. And if he had said, well, obviously her family would support her, then ask, doesn't that fuck up the nuclear family anyway? What dad will the child have? Or will the daughter be rushed into some marriage? Or will the grandparents be the parents? Like so many things she could have said. I am very into looking at abortions on a case-by-case scenario, but overall I would like the law to not make abortions illegal, though I do think that when women choose to have 5 abortions per year, just preventing them from having them does not solve the issue of why they want to have them to begin with, or why they didn't learn from the first mistake and tried preventing another conception to begin with. Is it lack of education? Is it a hate for life? Regardless, I don't believe that violence was the answer. I am also disgusted by how all sides are trying to spin his death. The far left, half of them celebrating it, making it look they'd be proud to be the ones accountable, and the other half blaming the right. Far right says, well, it's the left that did it, so now we have more of a reason to make laws to empower us and undermine them. And the secret Zionist weather-controlling lizard aliens cabal could have also done it because he was not pro-Israel enough. If I manage to encourage or change the opinion of just 10 people, I know I made the world a better place. And if they also manage to converse and encourage others to do their own research, stop consuming headlines and stop only watching people they agree with, just expand that brain, then that is some extra good out there. Speaking of people who don't do their own research, here is someone I used to like and read a lot of his books when I was a teenager. Living proof that after a certain age, maybe we need to start doing some cognitive tests as a mandatory precaution. Not to take away their rights, not to be mean, just so they don't hurt themselves or anyone else on accident. Here is Stephen King. I first saw this post of him saying I was wrong and I apologize. I have deleted the post and then I read through it. And I just wondered, like, is this actually true? Well, yeah, apparently it is true. Stephen King tweeted he advocated stoning gays to death. Just saying. Obviously, that is not true, so then he had to retract it. First tweet, I was wrong and I apologize. I have deleted the post. Then I have apologized. Charlie Kirk never advocated stoning gays to death. I apologize for saying Charlie Kirk advocated stoning gays. What he actually demonstrated was how some people cherry-pick biblical passages. And here is where he loses me completely. The horrible, evil, twisted liar apologizes. That's how my brain reads it. This is what I get for reading something on Twitter without fact-checking. Won't happen again. Just makes it sound so insincere. And look, I'm not debating whether he's evil or not, but sometimes the intent really doesn't matter. When somebody with that big of a platform and cultural weight says something that ends up being completely wrong, and we're talking about something as serious as a person's death, the harm spreads fast. A practical fix could be that if you are known to usually get things wrong, or community noted 90% of the time, then maybe when you try to post serious accusations or claims, that post is flagged for a quick review before going live. It wouldn't stop anyone from speaking their minds, but it would give enough pause to prevent errors from being broadcast to millions. Unfortunately, can't get too naive and acknowledge that sometimes situations get past a talking or debating point. That being said, I think it's important to defend yourself, protect what matters, and stand firm when necessary, but also to remember that responding with the same harm that was done to you only keeps the cycle of pain alive. Revenge just passes suffering forward, and before long, everyone is caught in a spiral that never ends. Stay within the law. Change the law. The law is supposed to reflect the majority, not be tailored to benefit any one group. And I choose to believe that most people are good, kind-hearted individuals simply doing their best to navigate whatever life throws at them. If we can keep that belief alive, it gives us a reason to keep pushing for a fairer, more compassionate system instead of giving in to bitterness. I've said my piece for today. Stay aware, stay grounded, and I'll catch you next time.